All right, welcome back. This is Pink Glue, episode 163. And I did get the official confirmation today that we are moving to Clout Hub at channel 201. That will be Pink Glue on Clout Hub at channel 201. So we're very excited about that. Although Clout Hub was down today, and I don't know if it's back up or not, they use an IBM platform. And due to free speech issues, I'm not going to go into the details of the emails we received. However, it was shut down. So they believe they've worked out at least the bumps to bring it back up. We'll see what happens. But why am I on right now? Here it is, getting later in the evening. This is November 6th, still heading out election week. D0minion Software, Staple Street Capital. I'm calling fraud. This is episode 163, Pink Glue, election coverage. So where are we going from here? We were blessed with this cute little gift, and I announced it in the last episode. I'm sure you've seen it trending. This is a Federalist, and this came out today. Let's see if there's more on the, here we go. The Federalist, a division of Federalist Media. And this is Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. This was released at about noon Eastern time, so 12:30 Eastern time. And this is in Michigan, where they've called it for President Biden. And they're stating it's not even a close race. However, the numbers are not all that far off. So here, look at what we have here. This is Fox News reporting. Michigan GOP chair gives update on election. Oops, this is my bad. It's a mistake. We'll just fix it. Sorry we got caught, right? Software glitch in Michigan County tallied 6,000 Republican votes as Democrat. You know, this is just an honest mistake. Things like this happen all the time. No, they don't. And this is, computers don't make mistakes. It was programmed this way. So let's look at how deep this runs. November 6, 2020 by Jordan Davidson. A glitch in software used to tabulate ballots in Antrim County, Michigan, caused at least 6,000 Republican votes to be counted as Democrat, according to Michigan GOP chairwoman Laura Cox. The miscalculation is what they're labeling it, Cox said in a press conference, was first reported by a county clerk. A short investigation revealed that, in fact, 47 counties in Michigan have also suffered from a similar little glitch with the same software, which could have caused some red counties to rake in a higher number of Democrat votes than usual. And Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use the software need to closely examine their results for similar discrepancies, Cox said. The people of Michigan deserve a transparent and open process. Now, as we'll delve into, we found out who the software company is and who the VC firm who bought them a couple years ago, and there have been no announcements or comments that I could find about the error. So let's continue here. Michigan is a battleground state where 16 electoral points was called for Biden on Wednesday by many news outlets. This win surprised some because DT won the state in 2016. National GOP chairwoman Ronna McDaniel also spoke at the press conference, shedding light on the election issues in the key state, saying that 2,000 Republican ballots were marked as Democrat in Oakland County due to a clerical error, which wrongly gave the race to the Democrat candidate. Oh, really? Clerical. The depth of the fraud continues. The American people need to have confidence in our elections. Right now, we don't have that because across the country, Democrat officials are shutting down transparency, especially here in the state of Michigan. She said Democrats are damaging the country in the process of a smooth transition of power by not allowing transparent process. You know, if you walk into, let's just use an example of a bank, and on your way in, you knock out all the security cameras, do you think you're doing that because you want to deposit a check? Probably there's some other reason that you would go to that length. So here we have windows being covered. We have authorized poll watchers that aren't being allowed within 60 feet. It raises a question, even if there is no fraud being committed, that raises a question. And now the fraud is starting to come out. McDaniel also said that Republican poll watchers in various locations were denied their ability to monitor the counting of ballots, that Wayne County alone has over 100 incident reports of irregularities, and that a whistleblower came forward to confirm that some election workers were asked to illegally date certain ballots as received on or before Election Day. We need to pursue these irregularities, and we need people to be patient and give us the time to investigate, McDaniel said. These are serious allegations of changing the date on ballots and refusing to let people observe in a meaningful way an election of this magnitude has. Now, again, this is not McDonald's. This isn't a drive-through where you cast a vote and you get the results. We can wait a week. We can wait and let's do this right. But by waiting a week, that doesn't mean that you continue to roll in and produce additional counts. At this point, they had the ability to properly scan and produce the results as they came in. And now there is so much discrepancy, they're going to have to start back and offer more transparency. These newly surfaced reports of potential election fraud and violations merely add to the credibility of other reports of suspicious activity in Michigan around the 2020 election, such as election officials expelling Republican poll challengers from counting rooms, illegally filling out ballots, and in Detroit, and covering up windows into counting rooms to prevent legal peering and observation. We have confirmed evidence that Democratic election officials have violated state law. Phil Klein, former Kansas Attorney General and now an attorney for the nonprofit Amistad Project, previously told the Federalist, explaining that his organization filed a lawsuit over reported voter fraud in Detroit. The Trump campaign also filed a lawsuit in Michigan on Wednesday, making similar claims that Republican election observers were stopped from overseeing ballot counting despite state laws ensuring otherwise. So let's see how deep this goes. And the really sad part is that the media is not supporting this. In fact, I took a glimpse into CNN's Anderson Cooper last night, and all he could do was stand there and complain that Trump is whining and he won't concede the election. That there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever of any kind of voter fraud. How is the media sticking with this narrative? It's just baffling to me, the level of lies, deceit, and manipulation. So here we go. It was confirmed that D0minion voting is the voting system that was used. So if we look at D0minion Voting Systems. D0minion Voting Systems Corporation is a company that sells electronic voting hardware and software, including voting machines and tabulators in the US and Canada. Yes, you are correct. This goes into the Canadian elections as well. The company's international headquarters are in Toronto, Canada, and its U.S. headquarters are in Denver, Colorado. As of September 2019, D0minion voting machines are used in 2,000 jurisdictions in 33 U.S. states and Puerto Rico. 33, this was as of a year ago. The company also has over 100 municipal customers in Canada and clients in other countries. The company carries out in-house software development for its customers in the US, Canada, and also Serbia. D0minion was founded in 2002 in Toronto, Canada by John Paulos and James Hoover. In May 2010, D0minion acquired Premier Election Solutions, formerly Diebold Election Systems, from Election Systems and Software ES&S, had just acquired PES from Diebold and was required to sell off PES by the United States DOJ for antitrust concerns. In June of 2010, D0minion acquired Sequoia Voting Systems. Let's click on that real fast. Yep, that's what I thought. This is what I was looking for and I couldn't find before we produced it. Sequoia is a major VC arm that is right on Sand Hill Road. They are tied to the major funding that we've seen with Facebook, Google, I'm blanking on that one, Twitter, you name it, Uber, all of them, fraud, fraud, fraud. So here we have Sequoia Voting Systems. was a California-based company that is one of the largest providers of electronic voting systems in the U.S., having offices in Oakland, Denver, and New York City. Some of its major competitors were Premier Election Solutions and ES&S. There we go, right there, and I'll dig deeper. United States, Dominion is the second largest seller of voting machines in the U.S. In 2016, its machines served 70 million votes in 1,600 jurisdictions. That is 70 million in 2016. 2016 was a presidential election year. We had immense fraud and manipulation at that point. In 2019, the state of Georgia selected Dominion Voting Systems to provide its new statewide voting system for 2020 and beyond. You can read into Canada and the officers here. Let's see, there isn't an absolute link to click on the officers or find out more about their political leanings at this point. Let's see if this one will, James Hoover. Let's see if we can get anything on this. A VP product line management. One of the founders, James Hoover, is a founding vice president at Dominion Voting since its inception. James has worked to define and maintain Dominion's sense of respect, responsibility, and commitment to all of its clients, voters, and democracies we serve. Currently, VP of Product Line Management, James defines the technical and operational standards by which Dominion operates and drives Dominion in the relentless pursuit of quality and technology advancement. Clearly, PR. What I'm looking for, any other keywords that would tie it. James, MS in Mechanical Engineering from University of Alberta. Let's go ahead and click on John Palos, who was stated to be the other founder, founding president and CEO since its inception. They met each other in a previous business venture in Silicon Valley. I tell you, the corruption runs deep. Together, they established an ambitious goal to build a voting system that was so transparent, even the most skeptical critic would have confidence in its accuracy, coupling this challenging objective with the culture of honesty, hard work, and partnership. Silicon Valley, I tell you, there you go again. Okay, so let's continue here. That was a walk down an interesting lane. Okay, so again, confirmed Dominion Voting Systems, a company that supplies 50% of voting machines to America. Let's go ahead and click on that one. This is usasupreme.com. This is a Supreme Rich blend of news from America and around the world. This is Friday, November 6, 2020. And well, they have a whole stream of interesting news there as well. So let's stick down here. Confirmed. Dominion Voting Systems, a company that supplies 50% of voting machines to America, donated to the Clinton Foundation. And as you might recall, in 2016, there was a huge uproar about this and how a voting system company could so much favor one system over another. So this was October 25th, 2016. Voting irregularities linked to companies that donated to the Clinton Foundation. Today, millions of Americans cast ballots on vulnerable and unverifiable computers. And the rise of internet voting poses a significant threat to future election systems. Interesting, much information has recently come to light about the Clinton candidacy. Notably, the hacker Guccifer 2.0 released documents which he took from the computer network of the DNC, Democratic National Committee. Among these files, one tabulated a list of big money donors to the Clinton Foundation. One fact has gone unreported in the media. 2 of the 3 companies that control the electronic voting market, namely Dominion Voting and HIG Capital, Hart Intercivic, are in the list of big money donors. Are you not smelling something here? Apart from the security problems, many researchers have posited that the biggest danger does not come from the outside, but from the inside. Most of the election companies have been mirrored in controversy, both in terms of conflict of interest and having been convicted of white-collar crime. Dominion Voting Systems, a company that supplies 50% of voting machines to America, donated to the Clinton Foundation. Most of the election companies have been mirrored in controversy, both in terms of conflicts of interest and having been convicted of white-collar crimes. Dominion Voting System, again, they're just deleting here, so let's go on. Dominion Voting Systems Corporation is a Canadian company that sells electronic voting hardware, including voting machines and tabulators. As of August 2010, Dominion voting machines are used in 600 jurisdictions in 22 of the United States, and 80,000 Dominion ImageCast precinct optical scan tabulators are used in other countries as well. Cl1nton Foundation, the D0minion project, Dominion voting. It comes as no surprise that Dominion would hope few in the public actually notice their sudden acquisition of e-voting assets from some 50% of the US voting market. That's right. This fall, 50% of the voting machines will be products of Dominion voting systems. Today, millions of Americans cast ballots on vulnerable and unverifiable computers, posted by USA Supreme on Tuesday, October 25, 2016. The data suggests that Clinton won the primaries in counties and in states where Clinton Foundation donors are responsible for the voting machines. Thus, we strongly believe that the risk posed by unverifiable and electronic voting should not be taken. Our country should go back to verifiable voting. An honest election is more important than a day of labor. Oh, there you go. I've got some more here, so let's keep going. Every day is election day. So what I did is I clicked on Dominion Voting, and boy, are they an awesome company. They've got this wonderful website. They even have statements on rumor control. There was an issue around Sharpies and ballots, and okay, I'm not going to download it here, but they've already put out a statement so that they want to get ahead of this COVID-related election. But you know what? There's no statement on the election fraud yet. So Democracy Suite Election Management System, how much has the government paid for this? Powered by the Democracy Suite Election Management System, EMS, Dominion solutions cater to the unique needs of every election. Yes, they do. The more you vote, the more you're buying your ballots. So you can dig around on Dominion voting if you'd like to. So let's go to one of these sites and dig a little bit deeper. One that I like to use for to find out more about a company is Crunchbase. So let's dig into Crunchbase. This is, of course, Crunchbase. And you just type in the company name and you can find out about companies that are just being formed, companies with angel funds, VC funds, and even many companies at an IPO level at this point, pre-IPO or post-IPO. So even when you're looking for a job or looking to interview, it's up to you to find out more about the integrity of that company and the growth potential. And so Crunchbase is a phenomenal database to use. Now, they used to have an immense amount of information you could click on and cross-reference and really dive deep. Of course, now they have a pro model, so they want to split that up, but you get enough here to get down the path quite a bit. Dominion Voting is a platform for purchasing or renting a voting machine, and it was acquired by Staple Street Capital, so we're going to look into that next. They are headquartered in the United States, as we saw, in the greater Denver area. They have between 251 and 500 employees. These would be FTE, full-time equivalents. They may have contractors, those are not counted in this. It is still privately held. And again, the company is dominionvoting.com. So you can look at what industries they're in, what the founders are. We research them, headquarters, the foundation date, operation status, it's still active. If you'd like to contact them, media@dominionvoting.com, and here's their phone number, 828-301-7670. Dominion is a different kind of company. There's their little PR blurb. You can either contact them on LinkedIn or Twitter, very friendly. The key features are listed right here. So let's look at this real quickly. Western U.S. information technology companies, top 10,000. Funding, let's see, Denver companies. So this goes on beyond that. M&A details. M&A is mergers and acquisitions. Dominion Voting was bought out by Staple Street Capital on July 17th, 2018. So we're looking at about 2 years ago. And let's go down the side here. So March 27, 2019 was the most recent news and activity that they posted on here. TechCrunch China sent, oh, look, China connection. So right now, what do we have? We have a deep state connection through the intelligence agencies based in Silicon Valley. We directly have Sequoia and possibly Sequoia Capital linked to that. We didn't go through their site for their investments. And we now have China being mentioned. We also have a direct tie to the Clinton Foundation and challenges around the 2016 election. TechCrunch. China, senators demand to know why election vendors still sell voting machines with known vulnerabilities. They are known to have vulnerabilities in March of 2019. So why did we still use them? Okay, we have September 26, 2018, Chicago Sun-Times. County approves the new election equipment contract despite rival firm's lawsuit. So it was even contested, and yet they obviously donated more. September 12, 2018, Miami Herald, Louisiana's voting machine contract winner defends selection. So there isn't anything posted here in the last year and a half. Isn't that suspect of what we're going into in the silencing that we've been seeing? So this is back to their site. I wanted to get over here to Staple Street. Again, Staple Street bought them they were acquired by Staple Street. And once again, let's go back to the date here. This was July 17th of 2018, announced on the same day. So who is Staple Street? Staple Street Capital invests in attractive middle market companies where we welcome complex solutions and can partner with management to create value. Staple Street, middle market private equity firm, investment management. So team, about, portfolio, contact, they're in New York. Let's go ahead and click on it, about. So we've read this already. Partner with management, provide valuable resources, PR stunt. Let's see, invest in influx points, welcome, maximize. But you see, it went from private ownership to an influx of capital through Silicon Valley, and then it was eventually bought out by Staple Street in New York, and it appears to still be privately held. I haven't gone too deep into Staple Street yet, but what I did do for you is, if you want to research a little bit more, I went into Staple Street, investing critical points. Here's a website if you'd like to dig deeper. And I pulled up Wall Street rallies again as election week's gain continues. Where do we go? There we go. This is what I wanted, their team. So I pulled this up. So if you want to cross-reference any of these individuals, we have Stephen Owens, Managing Director, and Houghton, Managing Director, Jeffrey Heislop, Managing Director, Rashid Latouf, Principal, Raheel Valiani, Operating Principal, Kevin Seidenberg, Head of Business Development, Daniel Franklin, VP, Scott Leffler, VP, Dylan Lamb, Senior Associate, Philip Taub, Senior Associate, Samrat Goel, a Senior Associate, Brian Godell, Associate, Luke Thompson, Associate, Ryan Zukoff, Associate, and Peter Conzola, Business Development. And we have Steve Burgermeister, Controller and Chief Compliance Officer. So these might be some individuals worth, at least at the top ranks here, cross-referencing. And just to round this out, because it wouldn't be a beautiful day without looking a little bit further, there was a comment on how inappropriate was that Trump referred to this particular congresswoman as her initials. And yet, as I recall, that was part of her campaign platform. And in fact, when you look her up on Twitter, she has it abbreviated at AOC. This is what she's known as, and this is what she was referring to. And this is one thing that Trump referred to her as well in many of the talks. And yet, this is her declaration. Is anyone archiving these Trump psychopaths for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. Lol, the party of personal responsibility, being upset at the idea of being responsible for their behavior over the last 4 years. These members deserve a lot of props. They took a risk based on their values, gut, and experience, and didn't let themselves get bullied out of their censorship. So here we go. We've got a wise voice from her. As part of her archiving, they have set up a whole series of Trump accountability projects. And apparently there's several that have come up as AOC asked for the record of Trump sycophants who were complicit in his administration, and they're looking for names. What they've done is set up a very, very nice website, and out of that website they've set up Google Documents that anybody can add to. So it's kind of like a Wikipedia. That's not true, right? Anybody can go in and add information, and it strays far from the truth. Well, you know what this is? This is a way to start doxing individuals, canceling, attacking, removing them from their jobs, and creating a blacklist. We are now into McCarthyism, and the media is supporting this and spending their time reporting on this when they are not at all following the chain of disaster that has been created through the falsification of using D0minion Software as owned currently by Staple Street Capital. This is fraud at its highest level, and we're just about to see the unraveling here. So this is pink glue. This is this extra long election week. This is November 6th, Friday night. And this is episode 163. Go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. You can DM me at pink_glue, and soon you'll also be able to find me on channel 201 at Clout Hub. And at this point, we have, we're up to 163 episodes. And so there's quite a bit of information there for you. But please, somebody take on the initial communication research that I've grabbed for D0minion and run with it. We'd like to see more information here. All right, signing off.